Let me know if this sounds familiar. It's Sunday afternoon and you're not watching football, you're sitting down to start your taxes. While you're staring at your computer screen, wondering which documents to locate first, you notice an email from a clothing brand that you like. 24 hours left, 25% off all styles. Now you've been meaning to get some new shirts, so you hop on over to this website. You're thinking, perfect timing, I'll just grab a couple before the sale ends. But you need to double check your size, and so you go upstairs and you head to your closet.
Fix that step.
And on the way over, you notice the dog bowl's empty. Shoot, I was needing to buy more kibble today. I think you know where this is headed. Now it's easy to laugh at these benign examples just like this. After all, we've all been there. But procrastination can also take on a more sinister character. Putting off a visit to the dermatologist for that weird mole on your back, ignoring a small leak in your basement, telling yourself you'll finally create a retirement plan next week, or next month, or maybe later in the year. All of these can have more serious consequences down the road. For a long time, procrastination was treated as a time management problem, or even a discipline problem. But a new wave of scientific research has given us a much more accurate understanding of what's really going on under the hoods in our minds. Dr. Kim Feichel is an award-winning researcher in the field of procrastination. Here's how he puts it in his book, Solving the Procrastination Puzzle. Procrastination is not a time management problem, it's an emotional regulation problem. I'll forgive you if you missed that. I'll say it again. Procrastination is not a time management problem, it's actually an emotional regulation problem. Need a hand? I'll break it down for you. It's actually quite simple. See, a task makes you feel bad, and your crazy monkey brain, and my crazy monkey brain, is trying to make us feel good. So we avoid the task, and we instantly feel better. Now, the scientific term for this is short-term mood repair. But as we all know, we're not actually solving the problem. We're just delaying it, and it's going to come back even bigger than before. So if procrastination isn't actually a time management problem, step one in overcoming procrastination is to recognize it for what it is. Procrastination is an effective short-term strategy for avoiding bad feelings. So if you've been procrastinating on some money-related topics, ask yourself, what bad feelings does this bring up for me? I've found that once I admit to myself that I have unpleasant emotions around a task, anxiety, fear, shame, doubt, resentment, it becomes a lot easier to find a path forward. Of course, if we don't set a path forward, many of these feelings will actually compound negatively. A seed of worry becomes more and more entrenched every time we have to face that hard task. Dr. Hal Hirschfeld, a psychologist and professor of marketing at the UCLA Anderson School of Management, explains this. When we procrastinate, parts of our brains actually think that the tasks we're putting off and the accompanying negative feelings that await us on the other side are actually someone else's problem. Not ours, someone else's. We perceive our future selves more as strangers than as actual parts of ourselves. And by the way, if we haven't ever met, I'm Steve Willems. I'm a wealth advisor here with the Willems Wealth Planning Group out here in BC. We started this channel to help you think about and plan your own retirement, helping you think about how to plan your investments, your income streams, and ideally have you pay less tax along the way. Every now and then we get a little psychological too, because we realize that retirement has a whole lot more to do than just dollars and cents. So let's hop back in. So how do you deal with this? Because when it comes down to planning for retirement, creating that long-term plan, that strategy, let's be honest, the stakes are pretty high. Well, first, you need to find a better reward than procrastination. Until you do, you're going to stay on that loop, on that cycle over and over and over until you give it something better to do. Your brain needs something better, something bigger to latch onto. How would you feel about yourself if you finally got the answers to your questions that you've had for a long time? What difference would that make in your life? Who would benefit from you having confidence in your long-term plans? These types of questions will help to reorient your mind. Next, Dr. Feichel suggests you play a righteous trick on yourself. At the start of a given task, let's say a retirement or a money task, you can consider the next action as a mere possibility, as if you're method acting. What's the next action I'd take on this if I were going to do this, even though I'm not? Maybe you would open your email. perhaps you would put a date on the top of a document. Don't wait to be in the mood to do a certain task. Motivation follows action. Get started. You'll find your motivation follow, Dr. Feichel says. And lastly, try to make your temptations more inconvenient, placing a layer of frustration between ourselves and our temptations. This is great for life generally, though, too. So, for example, if you compulsively check social media and you know it's not doing you any good, just straight up delete those apps from your phone. Or give yourself a really complicated password, not just 5 digits, but 12. Make it hard for you to do the thing that you don't want to do. From a retirement planning perspective, you can do this by making it inconvenient to access funds intended for long-term use by investing in accounts with penalties for early withdrawal. This creates a form of friction that would, in essence, discourage impulsive spending and encourage a more thoughtful, deliberate approach. And that's just one example that comes to mind. As an advisor, we get tasked with the responsibility of leading important money conversations with people of all walks of life. I get that not everyone loves talking about this stuff. The data supports that. Sure, some do, and they want to nerd out with us reviewing the tax tables and retirement drawdown strategies, all the nerdy stuff. But just as many think of a meeting with a financial planner as being right alongside with a meeting with their dentist. And no disrespect to dentists, it's just the way that it is. I can't control what baggage people bring into their experience of working with someone like us. What we can do is work hard to make the planning process as easy and stress-free as possible. All of our clients report feeling happier, less stressed, and more in control once we've gone through a planning process together. And we do most of the work. If you want to get the ball rolling, let's start with a quick 20-minute conversation on my calendar this week. I'll put a link in the description below so we can make that happen right now. If you don't do it now, we both know you probably won't get around to it for a long, long time. I'm kidding. Anyway, hope that was helpful. Went a little bit more psychological today. Let me know in the comments below which angles of retirement you want to hear more on, just to make sure that we're talking about the stuff that matters the most to you. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next video.